This is Maine Decides 2018.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Election Night. I'm J.R. Mitchell.
And I'm Kayla Fish. Thank you so much for joining us for our special coverage during the 2018 midterm elections. We've got a lot to cover tonight, and we'll be bringing in a few experts to help us break down all of the information you need to know about the issues Mainers will be deciding tonight.
Now, those issues include the race for governor, as well as those hoping to represent the state in the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate. Now, just a reminder, the polls close in just under an hour from now, so there is still time. If you have not gone to do your civic duty, you can get out and vote still.
Exactly. We're going to start out looking at the latest pre-election predictions in each of Maine's biggest races. ABC News has compiled data attempting to predict the results of this election. Now,
we want to note that these are merely predictions. They're based on surveys. So we're going to start off with a pre-election survey information about Maine's gubernatorial race. Now, in this race, Republican candidate Sean Moody has made clear he plans to continue Governor Paul LePage's legacy in the Blaine House.
Now, Moody's Democratic challenger Janet Mills is hoping to bring change to Augusta. If she wins the election, Mills would become Maine's first female governor.
Now, hoping to upset both Moody and Mills is independent candidate Terry Hayes. Now, as we take a look at the map, as we've said, these are predictions based on ABC News data that they have taken throughout the campaigns. And right now,
send it back to TJ right now. TJ, can you tell us, what's going on there?
Kayla, JR, at Poliquin headquarters in Bangor, where they're going to spend most of the evening at Dysart's restaurant on Broadway. Things are starting to pick up as people are wandering in. They've been decorating for the past couple of hours, trying to get that Congressman Bruce Poliquin sign everywhere you look. Now, it's been a long battle as Jared Golden out of Lewiston is challenging Bruce Poliquin, a two-term incumbent, for this seat, which is getting a lot of national attention. It's seen as a critical seat for both Democrats and Republicans. We also are expected sometime during the night that Congressman Poliquin will make an appearance here as people continue. His supporters will be filling this room in the next hour or so. Voting places throughout the state will be open until 8 o'clock. Now, this race, like the Senate race and the other congressional race in the 1st District, could be decided by ranked choice voting. If that's the case, what happens is that if one of the campaign candidates does not get more than 50.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Maine Decides 2018. It seems like this day has been brewing since the last election day in 2016, and people are treating it more like a presidential campaign all over again, as is evident with the people that are getting out to the polls, and they are going out in droves. So we were talking earlier about having some political professionals. Mark Brewer from the University of Maine's Political Science Office is with us. Mark, welcome, and thank you for being here with us this evening, and thanks for helping us put sort a little bit of this out this evening. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, no problem at all. First off, Mark, what a lot of people are talking about seems like it's going to be a huge voter turnout. Maine always does well, ranks right up there in the tops, but what did you see when you went to the polls today?
Certainly what I saw, I went to the polls in Orono today, and turnout there was extremely high. When early this morning, the turnout numbers at that point were large. I've heard reports not only from Orono, from around the state, that turnout is high across the state. That's not unusual in Maine. As you said, Maine is usually in the top 5 in 2016, actually #1 in turnout in the nation. But even given the fact that we're generally high, the reports are that this is going to be an extremely high turnout election, particularly for an off-year election. So all signs are pointing towards a huge turnout.
And kind of going off of that, do you see any sort of reason in your head that that is the case this year?
Well, I mean, certainly one of the key reasons that's given for the higher than average turnout is enthusiasm surrounding President Donald Trump. There's been a lot of talk about Democratic enthusiasm among Democratic voters who are unhappy with what the president has done and are motivated to turn out and register that unhappiness. At the same time, there are plenty of supporters of the president who are very enthusiastic.
Turning things over now, Alex Bobbin, he is in Lewiston, where supporters of Jared Golden are watching the election results as they prepare to come in. Alex?
Thanks, guys. Now I'm joined alongside by Bobby Reynolds, the communications director for Jared Golden. And Bobby, we talked a little bit earlier. It's tough for Jared to go against an incumbent like Bruce Poliquin. What's been the mindset throughout this entire campaign and leading up till today?
Well, you're right. It is tough. Mainers haven't fired an incumbent in this district in over 100 years. We knew this going into this race, that it was going to be tough. But hey, Jared Golden's a Marine. I mean, you give a Marine a challenge, and he's going to take it on. So he's just worked very hard. He's put together a great team. He's stayed on message. He's traveled back and forth all over the 2nd Congressional District for the better part of the last year and a half, meeting voters one at a time, and he's just kept his head down and stayed at it. And I spoke with him, obviously, just a few minutes ago, and he feels like he's made his argument. He's been able to talk about what he wanted to talk about. He's been able to get up on TV.
So right now, Republicans control the Maine Senate. In your mind, what are the chances that they continue that stance?
Well, I think that our chances are very good. We'll find out in just a very few hours. But the fact of the matter is, winning elections is about finding the right candidate, the candidate that really matches the district that they're trying to represent. We go out and we try to find business people that have had terrific careers and actually earn the trust of the communities that they want to represent. We've done that again this election cycle, and so we're hoping that the voters will turn out today and reward them efforts.
All right, now, Mike, is there any chance, we know right now that we have a Republican governor, we have a Republican Senate, and a Democratic House of Representatives. Is there any chance that Republicans could take control of the House after these midterm elections are over?
I don't think that anybody can tell you exactly how these elections are going to turn out. And so anybody that comes up and tries to tell you that they know the outcome is probably, not only fooling themselves, but trying to fool your viewers. The fact of the matter is, we're all anxious.
For being here with us tonight.
Terrific. Thanks for having me on.
All right, now switching gears now here a little bit. Kelly Mitchell is in Portland tonight, where Janet Mills and her supporters are anxiously awaiting tonight's results.
Kelly, how are things going on in the Mills camp?
Thanks, guys. I'm here at the Aura nightclub in Portland, where the Maine Democrats are having their Election Night 2018 event. Janet Mills, who's of course the Democratic nominee for governor, was here in Portland earlier today doing some last-minute campaign pushes, and of course she'll be here later tonight when this event officially takes off. But right now I'm joined with Scott Ogden, who's the communications director for the Mills campaign. So what is the feeling tonight? Have you talked to Janet Mills today?
I've been with Janet all day long. We started this morning in Farmington. She voted there. We went to Bangor, down to Lewiston, Auburn, all the way down to Portland and Scarborough. She's been crisscrossing the state in the last couple days, and the reception she's been getting has been great. So we're feeling cautiously optimistic. We feel like we've garnered a lot of momentum in these last couple of weeks, and particularly this last couple of days. So we feel good about where we are.
And what's it been like, just this whole experience in general, going from, knocking doors to doors to being here with the band tonight?
I mean, it's amazing, right? It's unlike anything that we've ever done, especially with Janet. She's an amazing person. She's a wonderful campaigner. And when you travel on the trail with her and see her out meeting people, you understand what drives her. And it's the motivation to want to help people, to want to help them get affordable health care, to want to help them get good jobs, to want to make sure that we have a strong public education system for our kids.
And what exactly have you heard from people in central Maine, in the Bangor area where our viewers are, about some of the issues that they're looking for the next governor to look after?
Sure. Well, the first and foremost thing that we've heard about is health care. Health care is far too expensive for too many people, and Janet's going to work on trying to lower the cost of health care, beginning with Medicaid expansion on day one of her administration.
Maine Decides 2018, about 17 minutes before the polls in the state of Maine close. You still have a little bit of time to get there, and they're not going to close down the doors if you're not right in. They're not going to send you away so you can get your voting done, but get there as soon as you can. Now, we're going to continue our conversation here tonight with a gentleman who is a Bangor attorney. He has also been involved in a very successful family business. He's been on the Bangor City Council. He's been the council chair. I want to welcome Joe Baldacci. Joe, welcome this evening. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Now, you have followed and been in politics for a very, very long time, Joe. What is your take on this year's races?
Well, I agree with Senate President Mike Thibodeau that this has been extremely negative, and it really has not done a real service to the voters of Maine. Fortunately, it ends tonight. Fortunately, the negative ads end tonight. So I agree that there's really too much negative in terms of what we're seeing. But I think it's a spirited campaign because the last 2 years with the Trump administration has really motivated people on both sides, motivated Democrats who are concerned about what's happening, motivated base Republicans who like what's happening. So I think it's very intensely competitive year, but you know, the negative thing has really gone over the top, and it's only gotten worse in this state. And I don't think that does a good service to the voters of Maine.
And from your experience just watching, obviously, these campaigns as they've unfolded and such, do Democrats like Janet Mills and Jared Golden have a chance at changing the posts of governor and congressional representative in that district from red to blue?
Oh, absolutely.
And why
I
is
think
that?
that the Attorney General, Janet Mills, has an edge. I think the race between Bruce Poliquin and Jared Golden is going to be very close. But I do think that they have a real solid chance of winning.
Again, as we continue our team coverage, we're going to send it over to Shauna Ryan. She is in Gorham, where Sean Moody is getting ready to watch the results come in.
Shauna, what can you tell us?
Still quiet right now, but Moody is set to be here in just a few with family, friends, and supporters watching votes as they come in. Now, Sean Moody has been campaigning until the very end, touring businesses in Bangor and Lewiston yesterday, and even greeting voters at the polls earlier today after casting his ballot, of course, here in Gorham, his hometown. And despite the rain, polls were very busy with hundreds of people lined up outside. Now, Maine is one of 36 states holding an election for governor. Sean Moody ran for governor back in 2010 as an independent. He won 5% of those votes. Sean Moody says he wants to continue Paul LePage's legacy, even has support from First Lady Ann LePage, who's actually on her way in right now.
You know, they may place blame differently depending on what their party affiliation is, but I think echoing some sentiments that have been said here tonight, I think Americans maybe, even though we're very polarized, agree on more than they realize, and one of the things I think they agree on is it's time for some solutions here.
And we keep mentioning, there's a lot of people that might not have gotten, we don't feel like we've gotten over the 2016 presidential election yet. And obviously after today, the kind of negative political ads will be over. But I guess politics never really ends. There's always another race to look forward to. There's always another election. So do you think that it's kind of the same, are we really going to be done with the campaigning after today, or?
No. I guess the short answer is, I mean, look, you know, we can look out there and see already that there are a number of people campaigning for president in 2020. The current incumbent, President Trump, has already filed for re-election. There's a number of Democrats who are testing the waters in Iowa, New Hampshire, and other states and going around making their pitches, both to voters and also privately to donors. You know, the campaign really never ends in modern American politics. I think the best we can hope for is, you know, maybe the temperature comes down a little bit, and I think that's, you know, the campaign's not going to stop. We're not going to take a break. That's not going to happen. Can the temperature come down and the civility levels go up and actually do some governing? Let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that regardless of who wins tonight or in the next few days when the dust settles, that one thing we can agree on is let's try and solve some problems and make people's lives better.
All right, Mark, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for your expertise and thank you for joining us here. I know we're all curious to see as the results are going to start rolling in here in any minute. Mark Brewer from the University of Maine Political Science, thank you so very much.
All right, thank you.
And also a special thanks to Senate President Mike Thibodeau and Joe Baldacci for also joining us and kind of giving us their take on a number of issues and where everything stands right now. And like you mentioned, the results hopefully will start pouring in within, let's say, the next 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes soon. By the end of tonight, hopefully we'll have some answers.
All right, we will keep you up to date throughout the evening. Over on ABC 7, we'll be joining in, breaking in throughout the evening. We'll have updates at 10 o'clock on the Fox 22 News at 10, plus the ABC 7 News at 11. Plus, we'll be right here up until 1 a.m. for all the coverage. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
We'll see you then.